Hey guys, what's up? It's Callan. Welcome to my city. I think this video is pretty interesting for anyone watching, if you're from Italy or America or anywhere. I've noticed some big differences in the education system in general. I'm just going to be talking about high school because that's all I'm really familiar with in both, specifically for exchange students and kind of what to expect. So the most obvious thing is that they don't switch classes. In America, you have a set of classes, you have a schedule, and you stick to that every day, and you change classes and you go to your teacher's room, and your teacher's room will have like posters and their stuff, and it's their room. And in Italy it's totally different because the teachers switch and not the kids. The teachers just carry one bag with them with an iPad and a couple papers or a book. But really from what I've seen, it's just really light bags and they all just have iPads. It's really simple. For me, when I first got here, it was a little bit like elementary school. You kind of stay with the same class all day and you don't change. But the difference is that the rooms are really boring. But I also think that's a bit of an advantage for Italian students, that they don't have distractions. I felt like in high school there was just like stuff everywhere and all my teachers had like posters and a million staplers and whatever. And it's tables, chairs, a blackboard. That's different too. In the US we have whiteboards, here they have blackboards and they write with chalk. Yeah, still getting used to that. Okay, now getting into the types of schools. When I came here, everyone started asking me what high school I went to, and I was like, what do you mean what high school I went to? Like, they're all the same? From my understanding, there are 3 different types of high schools, and you can either go to Liceo, which is like the good school where like most of the students who want to try hard and do well go. So within Liceo you have Liceo Linguistico, which studies languages. That's the school I'm in. Then you have Liceo Classico, which studies like Greek, Latin. My host sister's in that school. She absolutely loves it. It's supposed to be the most difficult Liceo because they study Greek and Latin and also a lot of history. Then you have Liceo Scientifico, and that one is obviously science, geared towards math and science. My other host sister went to that one. And then you have Liceo Art School. I think art school is Liceo. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then there's what they call technical school, where you learn like, I'm gonna screw this up, but you learn like technical stuff. And then the third one from my observation is professional school, and that's where you learn like practical job skills, kind of like a trade school. There are 3 types of schools. Most of the people I know are in Liceo. Depending on like what they're into, they can go to either school. It's pretty different than the US because in the US we just have one kind of high school. Everyone goes to the same high school, like all of the kids who really want to try hard, do good, you know, go to college, and then the kids who like don't want to be there, fail all their classes. And that's kind of like what I explain to Italians here, because they always say like, oh well, you know, we've seen the movies, we know that like US school is easier. And from what I've observed in Liceo, we've learned like the same things that I learned last year. What we're actually learning and how we're actually studying is the same. I wouldn't say that one is more advanced than the other, but I think the reason why people say that is because in the US, you don't have to keep a certain grade to be in the school. I mean, you don't have to like do much to be in the school. You can joke off, you can not try, or you can get straight A's, do everything right. And I kind of explained to them that's why school is a little bit slower in the US, because you have to set rules for a spectrum of kids, and here they kind of do what we consider tracking, where you track kids into different categories as they get older. And I don't know, there's good and bad to both, but ultimately here you just save a ton of time because first of all, like, you have a set of rules and they go for everyone and they work actually. Like, a lot of the rules at my high school were very irrelevant for me because I was a good kid. I did what I was supposed to, like, I didn't really get in trouble. But like here, like all of the rules really do apply to everyone, and everyone is just as driven and like just as whatever. So you do save a lot of time. You don't have like really troublesome kids in class taking away from the class. You also don't switch classes, so like the breaks are really, really short and you don't waste a lot of time. Like in the US, you waste so much time packing up all your stuff, going to the next class. I swear it's like 20 minutes between every class because you have to pack up, and everyone is like wants to pack up like 20 minutes before, and then you sit down, you have to like unpack everything and then repack, and it is just a mess. I didn't realize how just messy and scattered it was until I came here. I think Italians also, like, they're better off because they don't have those distractions in the classroom. It's just an all white room, and for me, like, I'm a bit of a minimalist. That's kind of like what really helps me study, so I think it's a little bit better. It's kind of difficult to tell you where you're gonna end up if you're an exchange student, but you will probably be in a liceo, in an art school, a science school, a classic school, or a linguistico. I think they try and put a lot of exchange students in linguistico, but that's not always the case. I know sometimes they let you choose. For me, that wasn't the case. I had to go to linguistico. Also, in Italy, they have regular tests, and then they have oral tests, which we don't do in the United States. I mean, we do, like, depending on your teacher, but it's not like a thing. Like, here they do as many oral tests as they do regular tests, so I don't know, it's a little bit intimidating, and people get like yelled at in front of the whole class, and that's very different. Like, they definitely put kids on the spot more here and are kind of like, okay, like, what do you have to say? And if you don't know the answer, like, your teacher is gonna like destroy you in front of the whole class, and it's a little bit intimidating. I know it's like that in the US, but like, it's not with every single teacher. Like, some teachers may decide to do oral tests, but like, depending. And for me, it was like rarely in high school. When I first got here, I was like, whoa, they are so anxious about school. This is like crazy. And then I kind of realized this is exactly how I was in high school. Like, I was exactly the same. The difference is that, like, they kind of, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, they are all kind of in the same boat, whereas like in the US, like, you have some really, really slacker kids, and then you have really good kids, and there's a big spectrum, and you can kind of be friends with anyone, and like, yeah, it definitely skews the way that you see school going to a liceo in Italy, because they're all really good students. They want to be there. In the US, you usually get to school around like 7 or 8, and then you get out at 3 or 4. Here, you get to school at 8 and you get out at 1, which is kind of amazing when you think about it, but then you go to school on Saturday. This is like a big deal for me. I hate it. You only get Sunday off. It's really, really difficult, guys. Like, really difficult. At the same time, you get out of school at 1 every day, which is really nice. It kind of makes it more of like a daily routine. Whereas I feel like in the US, I was always like, when's the weekend? When's the weekend? And you kind of have this like, this feeling of like getting over something, if that makes sense. But here it's more like, oh, it's just my daily routine. In Italy, there are 5 years of high school, and in the US, there are 4. So it's weird because I'm graduated from high school and I'm actually in the 4th year class, not the 5th year, because I'm 17, so they're all my age. It's very interesting. I mean, obviously in the US, high schools are different, but like in Italy, they are very different because they're specialized. And you do most of the studying at home. I think that's another reason why they get out at 1, because they have so much homework every night that it really does make up for it. You know, there's no clubs, there's no like sports in school. There's like a couple things here and there that happen, but nothing really as much as the US. We have like a class trip that the Linguistico school does every year, and this year we are going to Prague and Germany. I'm really excited. I don't know, guys, it's definitely different. Definitely it's a lot less fun because like in the US you can kind of goof off and do whatever. Here I think you're more focused on your work, and in turn you probably learn more. As for the curriculum that we're learning, I was pretty surprised, but it's like exactly the same. Very like normal, but then also I'm learning Russian, German, French, English. So that's very confusing because I'm learning Russian and German and French in Italian, and I also have an Italian class in school with a tutor. I do wish I made this video earlier, so that's a note to all of you exchange students. Like, if you have an idea for a video, make it that day. Don't wait, because it's just gonna fly by you and all this stuff is gonna feel normal. Like, even talking about the differences in the school, I'm like, well, it's not that different anymore, and it is, but like, that's me because I've been here for so long and I feel very accustomed to school here. I wouldn't say one is better than the other. I think Italian schools are a little bit better academically, but American schools are a lot more fun, like a lot more fun. So yeah, I don't know, I think they kind of even out in the end, especially because in American schools you also learn social skills. Like in Italian schools, you can really keep to yourself. You don't have to like really interact with other people. In the US, we do like activities and whatever in class. Like here, we don't really do that. It's just like the teacher lectures and you do the work, and it's not like we do fun activities or like projects, or it's not like that. It's not very hands-on. Italy has kind of an old style way of teaching. I'm really grateful to have gone to the high school I went to because I learned how to deal with all sorts of people from all sorts of backgrounds, and like a lot of people from really, really rough situations. And I think that was so beneficial for me to learn in high school. I think that's part of the reason I'm a very empathetic person. I went to a very, you know, rough high school filled with a lot of poverty and like underprivileged kids, and I kind of saw the worst of the worst in family life, in situations, and you know, coming to a place like Italy and seeing Liceo Linguistico, it's just like, it's a perfect little suburban world kind of, in my opinion. And like, it's better academically, of course, but like, you don't learn the social skills that I learned kind of going to the high school I went to. Even in the US, you can go to like really nice high schools and not really understand types of people that there are. And I feel very grateful to have gone to the high school I went to, because I know a lot of people who go to really, you know, wealthy high schools and they don't see poverty. Like, they don't see what that does to families. They don't see how kids are living. They don't see that. And so their mindset stays one way their whole life. They don't see poverty. They don't see, you know, kids who are hungry, so they have free breakfast. I mean, at my school we had a free breakfast and free lunch program because so many kids had stamps for it. People who I know from random places went to, you know, really nice private high schools, but you don't see how people are actually living, and then your whole life you live that way. My high school experience in America really changed my life in a way, and I don't think I would be as empathetic as a person as I am. I probably wouldn't vote the way I do. I probably wouldn't, you know, see things the way I see them. You know, my parents definitely knew that. They didn't want to send me to like a really, really good rated academic high school, because the high school that they sent me to taught me real life skills and interacting with people of all sorts of backgrounds. Like, I saw it all at my high school. It was not pretty, it was not happy all the time. Like, I saw a lot of terrible situations and terrible things go down, and my high school had a terrible reputation. I learned so much about life and so much about people, real people. I think it's really important to not live in a bubble your entire life. You can vote from your bubble, but it's dangerous, and I just, this is getting way too whatever, but yeah, my mom and I always talk about that, because my mom and my dad knew. They were like, no, you're going to this high school because it will give you real life skills, and I see it now. You know, being here and seeing all of these people, and you know, with their perfect outfits and their perfect lives, and they all eat dinner with their families, and you know, like, it's different. There's a lot of poverty in the United States. You don't even see that in a lot of American high schools. So it's really important to open your eyes up to how people are actually living. I was lucky enough to have that realization in high school, but some people never do. Some people grow up with families who teach them certain things, and then they go to wealthy high schools, wealthy universities, start a family of their own, and you never break that bubble. And I think that's a really important thing to do in your life, just to see how people are actually living, and to really listen to people, no matter how ignorant or whatever, to really like understand where people are coming from and treat everyone as a human being, not, you know, for what they know or, you know, for how they were raised, but for them, just for the sake of being human. And yeah, I guess just treat everyone fairly, whatever, blah blah blah. This was a video about American versus Italian school system, and I went off on my own little personal tangent, but you know, when does that not happen in my YouTube videos? On that note, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you're an exchange student going to Italy or have been to Italy, let me know your thoughts. I'm so excited for you. If you're going, you're gonna have an amazing time. If you're from the US, just curious, thanks for watching. If you're from Italy, just curious, thanks for watching. If you're from anywhere, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I can't believe I just started to say don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you can't tell, it has gotten dark, the street lights are on, I gotta head home. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.